What is up everyone, and welcome to some more F1 22. This time we're at the Australian Grand Prix for the third race of the season. And if you haven't seen the first couple races, I definitely recommend going and checking them out. Bahrain and Jeddah, we won both of them, and they were pretty good races overall. I mean, if I won them, they had to be pretty good races, right? But yeah, Bahrain was good. I think we started P3 and made our way forward. And then Jeddah, we pretty much led from pole the whole time. So yeah, quite a comfortable race. And yeah, we're going to see if we can get lucky 3 times in a row and maybe win the Australian Grand Prix as well. It's a race I'm decently strong at, so I'd like to think I have a somewhat good chance. But anyway, we'll not worry about that too much for the time being. You saw there we got 600 resource points. That was from an event we did at the end of last season where we chose to invest some money in training the staff against cyber attacks. And that meant that, yeah, we ended up getting some extra resource points as a result of doing that. So it turned out to be good. It didn't tell me what the bonus was. It just made me make a decision. So I was like, sure, I'll give this a try. Having a look at the sponsor targets, seeing if there's anything that was any good. I was thinking about going with that Euterpe one, but then I saw how low the goal bonus was, so I ended up going with this one, Equator Oil, instead. It may be a bit of a gamble to go with this many sort of risky ones, and if I find that I'm not getting them a lot at the next renewal, I'll probably change one of the riskier ones to a slightly more safe one that I'll probably get. Maybe one of the ones that's like do 75 laps over the course of the weekend or something like that, because that's usually pretty obtainable. We move forward, we got another event. We're either gonna allow the driver to gain lots more acclaim for a loss of experience, or decline and none of their stats move. So I think I'm gonna decline that, because honestly I don't like boosting my driver acclaim. I don't really see the purpose of it other than to make them more expensive and also more likely to leave your team. So yeah, I would rather that they kept their experience stat where they were, because that's going to allow them to bring in more resource points to the team. So if they can boost their experience, that's going to be very good for us to develop the car as quickly as we can. Looking through the costs of Spec 3 aero upgrades now, because we do want to try and get one on the car at some point over the course of the first half of the season, and then we can try and max out our aero upgrades by the end of the season, and maybe we can start moving towards doing the same for the chassis as well. I almost moved on to the Grand Prix without worrying about one thing I said I was going to do a couple videos ago now, which is driver perks. But I did remember in the nick of time, so that was good. And yeah, now we're going to reduce our engine wear and also boost our own personal acclaim by a significant amount, which is yeah, going to be helpful for us. I'm trying to think what the purpose of boosting driver acclaim further now that we've unlocked all the perks is necessarily, but you know, it makes the big number go up, so it's exciting in that regard. And obviously, the engine wear one is going to be a very useful one. If we can avoid wearing out our engine components too much over the course of the season, maybe we won't have to take any penalties. But if we have anywhere near the number of DNFs we had last season, then we probably will have to take some penalties at some point during the race. That said, everything in my car is not worn to the point of replacement yet, which is good because this is race 3 of 22. But I mean, you never know. I move into practice now, and yeah, it was a dry session, so hopefully we can do reasonably well here. To give you the sort of lowdown, because we'll just skip through this, I think we actually had a pretty decent pace, but it was either due to setup or the fact that I was riding the curbs a bit too much and damaging the floor. The car really didn't feel very good. It felt really uncomfortable to drive, and I was kind of worried I wasn't getting the best that I could have been out of it. But nonetheless, we got P4 in practice, so that was, you know, it ended up being fine. It was just one of those things that I didn't feel totally comfortable in the car yet. But hopefully as the weekend progresses, I'll be able to feel a bit more sort of stable and comfortable in the car. Have a look just quickly at all the development boosts we've got. I think maybe we'll try and get an upgrade on the car, probably a durability one, because you know we We are trying to reduce the number of failures we've had. I think we had 6 in the first season and 5 in the second season. So logic should dictate that we'll get 4, but that's not always how these things work. You know, we'll see how things go, and hopefully we'll be able to finish the race here in Australia this season. Because if I'm not mistaken, we did finish the race in season 1, but season 2 we didn't get very far at all. So, yeah, I'd like to finish this Grand Prix for the second time, maybe score some points for a change. Yeah, maybe Enzo can sneak into the top 10 as well. But, you know, despite the fact that we've improved the car significantly, Enzo Fittipaldi just doesn't seem to be able to be anywhere near as competitive as I was hoping he would be, given that we're not the worst car on the grid anymore. You know, when we signed him, we were the worst car on the grid, and then we jumped up to 3rd. And I was hoping he might be able to get himself sort of off the back rows of the grid. But obviously, if you didn't watch Jeddah, he qualified last, where I got pole, which is a testament to the difference in driver skill, I guess. And now we are going to try and get pole in Australia. And on the first time of asking, we do go fastest, although I don't know what kind of lap times the cars around me are going to set. You see Leclerc just beat me there. 11th at the end of my second flying lap of Q1, but we do improve a little bit, a few tenths here and there, and in the end it was good enough to take us to P6, so we are comfortably through, and that's pace that is, I hope, good enough to get us through to Q3 as well. A 1:17.5, not bad, less than 2 tenths off the top spot, so maybe we can knock on the door of pole today, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what the other cars do. 1:17.3 was the time they set there, but I imagine they might improve even into sort of the 1:16s. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Norris set a 1:17.3. I'm on a used set of softs, and I set a 1:18.5. But hopefully, when I'm actually on a lap on fresh tyres, I can improve quite a lot, and you can see just that. I'm 1.2 seconds up on my previous lap on a fresh set of softs. And that's good enough to take us to P4. Okay, so that's pretty good. That's about what you would want. And hopefully we can, you know, if we can sort of match that in Q3, that would be pretty good, I reckon. Top 5, very respectable. We're actually only 0.05 of a second off of Verstappen, who was first as well. So, yeah, a strong performance all around. Sainz and Russell are eliminated in Q2, which is... you know, I would say surprising, but honestly, given how sort of competitive the field is, the sort of top 7 teams on the grid at the moment are, it's not overly surprising. It's really just sort of Williams, Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, and Haas that aren't sort of teams that I reckon have the propensity to win races right now, but definitely Ferrari, McLaren, Alpine, Mercedes, Red Bull, us. Is there one more? Oh, AlphaTauri, yeah. So those teams, I reckon, all have the capability of winning races. We set a banker time on a used set of softs again, as we usually do, and now here is my run on a fresh set of softs, and you'll see quite quickly I'm going to be improving over my initial run, and hopefully we can sort of challenge the maybe the top 5 or something like that. But it remains to be seen. I'm currently P9, although I don't know if Verstappen is going to improve or not. So we could be looking at P10 if we don't improve on this lap. It's quite surprising the sort of drivers that are around here. I would expect Leclerc and Verstappen to be slightly further up, but you know, Red Bull haven't got off to the strongest start so far this season. You know, I don't think they've been on the podium yet. I think it's been sort of myself, obviously. I think Leclerc was on both podiums, and then Norris was on the podium in Bahrain, and Gasly was on the podium in Jeddah. So, yeah, all in all, not the championship outcome that you would expect. You know, seeing AlphaTauri and a Jaguar on the podium. But you know, that's season 3 for you, and maybe as the seasons progress even further, we can get some even wackier results. Who knows? We're a second up on our banker time as we come around the final corner, and it's going to be good enough to get us into 1:17.1 territory, and that puts us P5. Wow, okay. I guess the cars at the end must have taken it to a whole new level of fast, if they were going faster than that.
Before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who'll be fronting the grid. Perez, Gasly, and Lando Norris. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean that is quite frustrating actually. To be fair, if we'd have improved by sort of 0.04 of a second, we would have been second instead of fifth. But you know, hopefully we can make up a few places in the race. Maybe if we can battle our way back onto the podium. I don't know if it would be possible to win from fifth necessarily, but I mean I've done crazier things. I won a race from eighth once. So who knows? Although that was in Brazil, which is a perhaps slightly more chaotic track than Albert Park. So it might be a little bit more difficult. Either way, we gain all the acclaim of finishing P5. I think based on the sort of qualifying pace activities, the game expects us to sort of be qualifying around P7, so we're slightly outperforming what the game expects from us, but I have been driving very well recently, so it's not overly unexpected that this is happening. And if we continue to win rivalries, we'll continue making the game perpetually harder, so we'll see what happens.
Hello and welcome from Melbourne, a track modified since we last raced here in Albert Park, and I think with the changes, it's going to be a classic. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 14 corners and 3.28 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles per hour. Close proximity of the barriers make accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, with Pierre Gasly alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Hamilton, Robinson and Verstappen, Ocon, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso and Charles Leclerc, Tsunoda, Russell, Carlos Sainz and Mick Schumacher, Albon, Stroll, Enzo Fittipaldi and Robert Schwartzman, Magnussen, Latifi, Joe and Christian Lundgaard. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Natalie Pinkham's got nothing to say on this occasion, I guess, but you know, that's fine. I don't need to know.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Or maybe Crofty's all on his lonesome, but that would be a shame. I hope he's got someone there in the commentary box with him. Not that we'll find out. And yeah, time for the formation lap now. I've been kind of pushing quite hard on the formation laps recently to try and warm up the tyres a bit more. And honestly, I've been getting way better starts since I've kind of taken the formation lap more seriously. You can see my tyres, my front tyres at least, are at 85, which is you know, better than I was having them before. So yeah, I think honestly it is way worth it to do the formation lap to try and warm up the tyres to a level that you're comfortable with. Yeah, I've been getting a much better start, so I think honestly that's the secret to getting a good start. But anyway, the lights come on and the lights go out, and here we go. We do get a good start once again, and you can see that myself and Norris and Hamilton all get pretty good starts, but Perez and Gasly are kind of getting chewed up, which I think is because they're on the mediums and the rest of us are on the softs. So yeah, we just completely swallow the drivers on the front row of the grid. Gasly's already down to P5 from P2, and Perez, I'm going around the outside to the inside now, and he's down into P4 from pole position, and Norris has already made his way up into P1. So yeah, that was a real switcheroo. The three cars behind on the soft compound tyres made up a bunch of positions, and the two cars in front on the mediums just absolutely fell away completely. You know, Ocon's up to P5 ahead of Gasly now. Perez is actually attacking me back as we come through this new fast section that used to be separated by a chicane and now isn't, which makes me much better at the track because I was terrible at driving that chicane. And now we come to the reprofiled turn 11, I want to say this is. And yeah, we've just about stayed ahead of Perez for now, but I'm sure that as my tyres fall away, he's gonna be attacking me back into this Grand Prix. So we'll wait to see whether he has the ability to do that or not. Now we're having a look. This is the two Aston Martins, Stroll in front, Magnussen behind, and we're going to see what's going on here. Magnussen just plows directly into the back of his teammate and decimates the front of his car. And yeah, that's going to be the end of his race, unfortunately. But no safety car called, despite the level of debris and everything. So that was maybe a bit of a surprise. There's a new strategy available to us. We're going to be stopping a lap early now on lap 7 instead of lap 8. It's going to be tricky to get to the end on a set of mediums because the mediums, I think, can do 22 laps, and we will be on them for 22 laps. So we might have to take it sort of easy with the tyres if we want to make them last till the end. But you know, maybe we'll be able to do that. You know, I saw that race at Istanbul that one time where Esteban Ocon drove the entire race on a set of intermediate tyres, literally 58 laps or whatever it was. That was pretty crazy. Here we are now on lap 6 we're just moving into in a second, and Perez with the DRS is going to have a go at us into turn 1, I imagine here. We'll leave him enough room, but at the same time there's only a certain amount of room we can leave him before we're driving ourselves off the track, and I ain't about to do that. I was ahead. I have the right to some space on the track. He's maybe going to have another go at us, not quite. And yeah, I think we've just held on to this position for now, but our tyres were starting to feel really bad. You can see that they were approaching 60% territory, and yeah, now is the time to fit a new set of medium tyres to go to the end of the race. It's going to be a difficult strategy to pull off, but since we've got the tyre wear upgrades on the car over the past couple seasons or so, I think we can probably just get to the end. We are going to come out ahead of Gasly, who we were racing with beforehand. I guess he must have pitted already. Maybe he had some kind of contact or something. It's going to be hard to keep him behind, but we just about managed. And now we are going to try and get past Latifi, who just about came out ahead of us, even if he does have to stop again. I don't know when that's going to be. I don't want to hedge my bets, so I'm just going to try and clear him as quickly as I possibly can. We get through here without the use of the battery, really, to be honest. So that's yeah, that was quite good. A good move all in all, but he might attack us back with the DRS here, so I am going to be burning a lot of battery to try and keep him behind. We'll see if he goes for a move. I think we're going to be okay. I try and cover off the corner a little bit early, close the door on him, and now we can start pulling away and start trying to catch Zhou Guanyu ahead of us in the Haas. Teammates with Mick Schumacher this season as the driver market has flip-flopped a little bit. Magnussen now at Aston Martin with Stroll following the retirement of Vettel. And yeah, we are now on the back of Zhou, going to try and go around the outside of him at turn 1, but he goes a bit deep into the corner. I think he tried to turn defense into attack there, and really he just turned it into screwing both myself and him over. We made contact with him at some point. I didn't see that, but maybe you saw it. We eventually outbrake him at turn 3. So now we've got ahead, and we can set our sights on Stroll, who is just a second up the road from us now, and yeah, hopefully we can catch him quite quickly. I think he's on an old set of mediums, obviously. He didn't get past us in the race at any point, so that must be the case. And yeah, he's probably still a few laps away from pitting, so if we want to contend with the cars around us, we're going to have to try and do this the old-fashioned way and just overtake him plainly on track rather than pulling any crazy strategy moves or anything like that. I'm going to dive up the inside at the same place I overtook Zhou on the previous lap, and we just about make the move work, and that moves us into P6 for now, but I think this is still net P3. It's hard to tell because Perez obviously extended his stint quite a lot, so Perez might have overcut us, especially with all the traffic we had. I guess we'll find out now where Perez is going to come out of the pits. He's just ahead of us, actually. You can see there he has built a bit of a gap, but it's not a massive gap, and since he's got cold tyres, I think we should be able to catch up to the back of him just about, and try and fight back for the final podium position against him as Enzo Fittipaldi comes in for his stop. And yeah, we now just want to try and clear Perez before he gets his tyres up to temperature, because the faster he gets up to temperature, the harder it's going to be for us to overtake him. And eventually our tyres are going to go off, whereas he's only on a set of hards for 13 laps. So those are going to be pretty fine to the end, I think. We're going to try and overtake in the same spot we overtook Latifi earlier in the race, and also where we battled Perez earlier in the race for that matter. We do initially get past him, but then he fights us back, and he just has a bit of superior pace. We try and go round the outside, and then, yeah, we... did we push him off the track there? It didn't look like he was alongside us. It seemed like he was behind us, which is why I, took the line I did. I would have tried to give him a bit of space if I'd known. Let's see that again and try and get to the bottom of whether I did push him off the track or not, because I'm not sure if I did anything wrong there, or whether that was just an incident or whatever. No, I think that was Perez, to be honest with you. Let me know in the comments what you think, but I think that was Perez trying to sweep around the outside of me and just massively misjudging the line through the corner. It was very reminiscent of that thing that happens in F1 Manager sometimes, where drivers would just kind of forget to brake, and they would just see them take like a really wide line through a corner, and yeah, there's gravel on the outside of the corner, so you can't really do that, unfortunately. But it's massively cost Perez now, and now the driver that's putting me under pressure is his teammate, Max Verstappen. So hopefully I can hold on to this position and not concede a position to Verstappen, because I would really like to hold on to my podium finishing streak, if that's possible. And yeah, even if it's not going to be the win, because I think Norris and Hamilton are just a bit too far up the road. Verstappen attacks us. We're going to try and dive back up the inside, and we just about hold on to the position for now. It was a bit dirty of us, but the AI does way sketchier shit than I did just then, so I think I can be allowed a move like that every now and again. But yeah, that Perez move was just a really weird one. Here we are now on lap 23, and we'll have a look at Daniel Ricciardo, who I think is out of the race. Yep, I think it was some kind of engine failure. I think I saw a brief puff of smoke. Yeah, there it is. So that's going to be the end of his Grand Prix. He was actually a couple cars behind us. I think he was running in P5. So that's a disappointing result for him. But we're not going to try and let it affect us too much, as we now just kind of try and focus on keeping Verstappen and I guess Sainz behind us as well, and see what we can do for the remainder of the race. Yeah, there's the notification that he's out of the session. And yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a safety car or not. I guess there would have been one called already if there was going to be. So yeah, I'm going to have to be very vigilant, burning a lot of battery as we come through here, trying to keep Verstappen behind, and yeah, just do what I can to keep defending. Oh, and now a safety car gets deployed. That was a really big delay for the Ricciardo incident. I don't know if maybe someone got caught up in another tangle around that same spot or something like that, because he said multiple vehicles stopped on track. So yeah, I don't know why that would have happened if not. I do briefly consider stopping for a set of softs, because my tyres were feeling very, very bad at this point in the race. So I thought about sticking on a set of softs and trying to cut my way back through the field, but I think jumping down to 12th is probably a bit too far. So in the end I just decided to stay on the tyres I was on before. You got to be joking, surely. Surely not 5 laps before the end when I'm on for a podium. They wouldn't do that to me. I don't know. This game can be a cruel mistress sometimes, but we'll just we'll wait and see. It's not going to be great for our championship chances if we're getting a DNF at this stage. I was hoping that we could kind of put our DNFing woes behind us and our car was at least a bit reliable. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So yeah, we get our first failure of the race. It's an MGUH failure, and or first failure of the season, I should say. It's an MGUH failure, and that's going to be the end of our Grand Prix. The game starts getting mad at me because I'm falling too far back, even though I'm not in control of the car by this point. And yeah, that is the end of the Australian Grand Prix for us, unfortunately. I was only a few laps from the end, obviously, less than 5 laps from finishing, and yeah, the MGUH just gave out. So perhaps we can maybe look at getting some MGUH upgrades to prevent that from happening again, and try and focus on improved reliability as we move through the season. But yeah, for now, not much we can do. We'll have a look at the podium.
And a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out of the track was: speed. It sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
I wonder if any pundit is not going to answer that when they are asked what won the race.
Drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
So all in all, it was a good race for us until the DNF, but yeah, not much we could do after they condemned our fate. But those are all scripted, I think. So I guess we'll see. We do drop just out of the top spot by 1 point to Lando Norris, which is a little bit unfortunate. But hopefully we can get him back at the Chinese Grand Prix, which is the next race coming up. And we fall from the top spot of the constructors down to P3. So yeah, hopefully we can recoup some positions there. But like I said, I was only hoping for P3, maybe P4, something like that. And yeah, we unfortunately just can't maintain the top spot for too long, really. I wish we could, but that's the breaks. Fittipaldi ended up finishing 14th, which I guess is pretty decent, although I would have liked him to finish maybe a few positions higher, maybe grab 1 point or something like that. And yeah, I just really hope that he can put in a good performance at some stage of this season, even if it maybe takes him a few races to get there. We don't get any of our sponsor bonuses, which is a shame, but you know, not much we could have done here today, unfortunately. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you for the next one.